We learned through PEMDAS that when you see parentheses in a problem, you're supposed to take care of those first. So the first thing you typically deal with is doing the inside of the parentheses and seeing what happens. Unfortunately, when you look at problems like this, when you try doing the inside of the parentheses, you really can't do anything because we have 6 minus 2x. Those aren't like terms. You can't combine those. Before this lesson, we'd kind of be stuck when we saw this problem here. The distributive property, however, is a great property that helps us break down parentheses. So when you see parentheses that you need to get rid of, distributive property is a great way to handle that. And you've probably seen the distributive property in previous classes, but basically it comes into play when you have a number being multiplied against a parenthesis, like right here, -4 times this parenthesis. What we're going to do is take the number on the outside and distribute it or multiply it against each term on the inside. So I'm going to do -4 times 6. -4 times 6 is -24. And then I'm going to do -4 times a -2x. -4 times -2x. -4 times -2 is a positive 8. So I'm going to get plus 8x. And if you wanted to, you can rearrange this. Usually you like to put the x first. It was a positive 8x and a -24. So I'm going to put -24 here. This means the same thing. This is typically how you would see it written. So that's a simplified version. No more parentheses thanks to the distributive property. On my next example here, and again, feel free to pause the video if you want to try this one out for yourself, see how you did. I'm going to take my 10x and multiply it into my parentheses here. 10x times 4x. 10 times 4 makes a 40, and x times x is actually x squared on this one. And then I do 10x times -5. 10 times -5 is -50, so put -50 here. And then there's an x on it. Can't combine these two, they're not like terms. This is my final answer. And on my third problem here, again I have parentheses, so I want to break those down. I'm going to distribute my -2 into the parentheses here. -2 times 3x is -6x. -2 times +4 is -8. So I put a -8 there. And I'm going to carry down this -x sitting on the outside here. Now I have a regular like terms problem. I can combine -6x minus 1x. I get -7x minus 8. And that is my final answer. I have two more longer examples, kind of practicing the distributive property and combining it with our simplifying stuff that we have been doing in our last video. So, when you see a larger problem like this with a lot going on, the best course of action is to do two things. Break down the parentheses, and if you see any double signs in the problem, we talked about those in an earlier video, get rid of those as well. But the first thing I'm going to do if I want to simplify here is break down those parentheses. So I'm going to distribute my 3 into this parenthesis, because it's 3 times the parentheses, so each term gets multiplied. 3 times 2x makes a 6x. 3 times -4 is -12. Now, some people, I guess I should have mentioned this on an earlier problem. Some people will turn this into like plus -12, and it's just, I don't like doing that. I like just one sign. So 3 times -4 is -12. You put -12 here. On my second parenthesis, I'm going to take my -5, because that's what's on the outside being multiplied here, and I'm going to distribute that in. So -5 times x is -5x, and -5 times a positive 6 is a -30. Carry down my plus 10x. And now I'm just dealing with a like terms problem. So if I look at this one right here, I have a 6x minus 5x plus 10x. 6 minus 5 is 1, 1 plus 10, it's going to be 11x. And I have minus 12 minus 30 minus 42. And this is my answer. You can see that once you break down those parentheses, you kind of have just a bunch of terms laid out like this, and you just do the problems like in the last video. The only new thing here is the distributing. So we have one more. If you like to try it for yourself, go ahead and do so, but I'm going to work it out right now. So on this one, I have a negative outside my parentheses. That's really a -1. So when you distribute that in, -1 times 2x is -2x. -1 times -3 is going to be a positive 3y. And when I distribute in my plus 4x here, plus 4x times 20 is going to be a plus 80x. And plus 4x times minus 4y is going to be minus 16xy. The xy just sits side by side like that. And when I'm looking at my like terms here, I'm going to go ahead and combine those. Let's see what I end up with. Negative 2x plus 80x is going to make a 78x. No other like terms for the y. No other like terms for this guy either. So this is a simplified version of my answer.